First few years of college, I threw every single day.
Of course you want to be a champion. Of course you want to be working towards winning titles.
Be happy, but never satisfied.
Better than ever.
Good afternoon, everybody, and thank you for joining. We are filming live today from Kelowna, BC in the Thompson-Okanagan region, which is situated on the traditional unceded territory of three interior Salish nations, the Syilx, Secwepemc, and Niqua-Pimau peoples. We also are sponsored by BE Ultimate Discraft, and this tournament's being organized by Ultimate Canada. This is the Canadian Ultimate Championships Masters, and we are about to see the Open Division quarterfinal game here. It is hot, it is windy. In fact, it's so hot, it is affecting our equipment. And so we are going to have to apologize. You may experience some issues with the quality of our stream. We want you to know that we're working on fixing these issues, so please hang in there with us. My name is Jamie Ihaxi, and I am joined here by Grace Freiheit. Grace, what teams are playing here with us today?
So we have Armada from Vancouver and Carbon, who we saw earlier on a live stream coming out of Alberta. Bit mix of Calgary and Edmonton. It's going to be interesting to see Carbon play again, much windier than the first time we saw them, and they're a bit of a gunslinging team. They love that deep look, and it'll be interesting to see. There's a lot of wind coming out of Calgary and southern Alberta, so I'm sure they're familiar with it, but just interesting to see if they'll stay with their deep throws.
Well, we got Carbon in black pulling the disc, and the game is on. Armada starting off on offense. And they are moving the disc in this wind. Now the wind is at their back, so those hucks are going to go a little bit easier for them. Not quite in. That's number 44, Labardis, sending it out, unable to find Kandari there, looking for the conversion. And Carbon has an opportunity to get a break point here. Grace, is it going to be a little bit more difficult with them with the wind blowing in their face?
Well, that's what I was saying. Well, here we go.
Wow.
Completed, but didn't look quite the same as usual for them. So let's see.
Well, Carbon moving the disc well despite this headwind. Oh, fantastic defensive play there by Scott Pillsbury from Armada. Now, we did mention the wind, but it is kind of gusty. It's kind of starting, stopping, blowing hard, dissipating. Play continues here. Fantastic catch there by McFarlane. Looking upfield, and he puts a forehand huck up there, but it could not be chased down there. We are going to have a few more turnovers in this heat and in this wind. What do you think, Grace?
Yeah, it's they're looking a little bit rusty coming out the start of this game. I think they'll just have to take a few points to figure out the wind.
Okay. We have Landon Urquhart here starting things off for Carbon, and an immediate floaty huck into the air here, brought down by number 87, Mike Choi. Put back into this middle for Michael Wynn, but sent a bit low by Mark Unterschultz there. It seems to be hard for these teams to find the conversion in this wind, Grace.
Yeah, it's taking them a second. I'm sure they'll figure it out. They're both really great teams. They just need a minute here, it looks like.
Well, this is probably the first game the whole tournament they have played with wind like this. Solid movement there by Armada. Sean Kay with the disc, looking upfield. Moving it up the sideline. Kandari with the disc. Swings it back to the middle. And a huge defensive play there. Carbon now. Disc center of the field. Urquhart with the disc. Quick movement up towards the sidelines. Back to Urquhart in the middle. Looking upfield. Finds Adamson. Adamson with the disc. Forehands up to the end zone. And Urquhart unable to pull that back in.
Tried a little bit of a greatest there. If you jump from inbounds, catch the disc and throw it back inbounds, it's good. Just didn't quite work out for him there.
Is this a timeout called, Grace?
This is a timeout on the first point of the game. I think the heat of the turf and the wind just getting to these two teams a little bit. They need a little bit of a breather. Got some hands on our knees. They're looking a little bit tired out there. So I think it's a well-earned timeout from these two.
Yes, this heat and wind is certainly a factor at this point in the game. We saw it yesterday in yesterday afternoon's game. This heat can wear on these players. Now, these players, however, are competing for a semifinals position here. So I expect this timeout is maybe just showing how important this game is to them.
Yeah, and these teams kind of have a bit of a about polar opposite history. Carbon being a lot of senior players coming out of AFC, kind of one of the top senior men's teams in Canada. So a lot of them coming from another club team, and Armada, just really some league players coming out of the Lower Mainland. So a bit of different history. They've been playing a long time on Armada, just more league players. So it's interesting to see the matchup of a lot of club guys and then a lot of league guys.
Yeah, the captain on Armada said this is their first tournament all together as a team. I'm sure most of those players have played competitive tournaments before, but first one all together as a team. Could not convert that pass, and Carbon has an excellent opportunity here. The score, by the way, 0-0 here, Grace. This is a long point.
Yeah. There's Carbon right on the doorstep here, so let's see.
And it is put up for Greg Adamson, brings it down. That puts Carbon with the first point in black out of Alberta, leading over Armada in white out of Vancouver with 0. A bit of a, do you think these teams are going to maybe have to adjust their game plan when they're throwing into that headwind? Maybe look for those shorter passes?
Yeah, I think definitely the Carbon offense just not looking quite the same as it did yesterday. Just really floaty throws, and I don't know that they want to take the chances with those big air balls like that. Really, anyone can come down with those, and it's not necessarily a strategy I think they want to rely on.
Holding the disc right now for Carbon, Dave Hohalter. Earlier yesterday, we saw him picking up the disc and hucking it from just about anywhere in the field and finding conversions.
Absolutely, yeah. He loves to have those bombs. So we'll see if he can do it in the wind today.
Well, pulling that disc deep into the end zone of Armada, and Armada having to find a point into the headwind here. Good disc movement there. Bush moving it back to the middle for Chevalier. Quick passes up. Drops back to Ring. And a defensive play by Brad Dawson. Dave Hohalter. Disc in hand, center of the field. Oh, and the captain's having a little discussion with the observer here. What do you think's happening, Grace?
It's looking like 97 is saying that he did a bit of a push off, maybe. Putting a little bit too much body on him there. Yeah, just having a discussion about contact when they're running. Seems like the Armada player isn't happy with the amount of body that's on him.
You know, we've been talking, this is a non-contact point. It's self-officiated. The players are officiating their own behavior out there, and it looks like the captains are maybe saying, hey, you know, we don't want to get hurt out here. Can we just play the non-contact game that we're supposed to?
Yeah, I think that's about it.
Well, Dave Hohalter looking to convert here. Break point opportunity for Carbon. Puts it up for Williams. And Williams finds Brad Dawson, a fitting catcher or receiver, considering it was Dawson who made that turnover happen.
Yeah, a bit of double happiness there for him. That must feel good. It's interesting to see that discussion. We'll see how the rest of the game goes. I find men's ultimate sometimes you can get a bit chippy. So we're 2 points in. I hope it can cool back down. That's the last thing we want. Is a bit of a contentious game here.
Well, there's a lot on the line moving into the semifinals. It is late in the tournament, hot on a Saturday afternoon. It's got to be getting close to over 30 degrees here in Kelowna, BC. No doubt that these teams might be feeling some frustration out there.
Yeah, it's the heat. The heat wears on you. I love it here, but a lot of people certainly on the turf. It reflects. It's got to be close to 35 degrees on the turf here, so it's warm for them.
Indeed. Well, this puts a lot of pressure on Armada now to find a point here. They've got the wind behind them now. Does that give them maybe a little bit easier advantage?
Yeah, they're looking like they're running a bit of a zone here, and Armada's doing a good job breaking it.
Okay. Pillsbury puts it up. Not caught, though. Carbon able to find a break point, or has that opportunity. However, as we've been seeing, the wind blowing in their face does make that difficult. Carbon lining up in the center of the field. Good cut. Carbon has a disc on the sideline. Moves it back into the middle, swinging it across the field to Badecki. Dropping it back to Urquhart. Urquhart back up to Choi, and Choi sends it down the field, and it is caught right over top of the Armada player. You can see the excitement there.
Armada player was in better position. I think he just thought he had it and didn't quite attack it at the end there. And the Carbon player coming in hot. It's sad to see that. I bet you number 4 is thinking about that. He was right there. It just looked like he pulled up a bit at the end.
Thomas Bogajowski there, number 29. Excellent catch in the end zone. Well, Carbon able to find 2 break points here, leading this game 3-0, Grace.
Yeah, Carbon's just looking a little bit faster out there. Armada's not quite running through their discs. They're getting a lot of Ds. Carbon's getting a lot of Ds just running through it. Looking like they might be just a little bit quicker than Armada out there.
Well, as we've been saying, we've got Carbon from Alberta in the black. Amanda, they wouldn't want me calling them that. Armada from Vancouver in the white. On offense here, the disc deep in their end zone, rolling out the side there. Now, will they have to take it from the sideline there?
Yeah, that front end zone cone is where they're going to bring it up to. So really good pull, pinning them deep right on the corner like that. It's beautiful.
Now the wind's died down a little bit. Let's see if they can get out of their own zone here. Oh, no. Oh, my goodness. He has caught that for Carbon. They did one of those jumpy out, throwy back innies you were talking about, Grace.
He tried his best. Yeah, it didn't work out for him and ended up just setting Carbon up for just an easy little dish into the end zone there. But it was a good try. Armada's just looking a little bit unsettled right now. I don't know what they can do here, but they've got to do something to change this around. They're looking a little defeated, heads down, walking to the line, and they've got to sort something out. Carbon right now is just being absolutely dominant.
That was Daniel G with that heroic layout for yet another break point for Carbon, leading 4-0 over Armada. What can Armada do to deal with this intensity from Carbon?
I don't know if they've got another gear they can drop it into, but right now they're chugging along, and Carbon's flying by like they're race cars. So we'll see.
Amazing athleticism by Daniel G there, putting his body on the line in this heat. This turf is rough on the body, but he came up with that point. Let's see how Armada can respond. Waiting to see if it goes out the back, but it doesn't. And so Armada way deep in their own zone on the sideline now, moving it up. Good movement. Dropping it back. Pick called on the play. Okay. Play proceeds there. Bush with the disc, swings it back to the middle, over to Robertson on the sideline, moving it up to Zylstra, who moves it back to the middle. Over to Ring. Armada moving it well up the middle here. Brusnick there, moving it over to the sideline. Big swing across the field to Bush and up the middle. Brusnick back to Bush. Bush looking upfield. Finds Zylstra. Zylstra back to Brusnick. On the sideline, looking to convert here. Orlandi with the disc in the center of the field. Finds Bush. Looking upfield. And just puts it a bit ahead of Orlandi, who could not track that down.
That was great patience all up until the end there. Just you got to put a little bit more loft on it when you're going downwind like that. It really pushes the disc down. So he needed just a little bit more touch on that.
And Dave Holharter wasting no time with a big huck upfield for Carvin, but doesn't pay off. Armada gets possession back with quick movement downfield. Robertson, layout catch there, center of the field, looking to get their first point of the game here. Oh, but Carbon, the team from Alberta, able to get it back, fighting into this headwind, which is picked back up. Dave Holhalter in the center of the field, forehand huck, passing it up to Urquhart, who brings it down inbounds, taps it back into play, looking to convert it. Did I hear fast count, Grace?
Fast count called. So I don't know why they're having a discussion about it. Usually you just drop 2 stall counts and continue going. Maybe 97 just contesting that.
The defensive players, of course, count to 10 when they are in range of the offensive players, and once 10 is reached, it is a turnover. So if a player is counting too fast, the other player can call fast count, as you mentioned, Grace.
It's that's my favorite thing to do on a mark. Panic them a little bit. It's not often you get called on it, and it seems like 97 was contesting that.
Well, play resumes. Carbon with a quick little pass up to Dave Holharter, who got that play started with a huge huck. Carbon is in control of this game, Grace.
It is. It's looking like they don't mind if they turn some over. They're still gonna shoot those shots. That first one upfield just hanging, and like I was saying, when you're putting lofty throws in the middle of the field, really anyone could come down with it. And turned around, didn't really matter. Does it all over again with the flick that time, and the flick worked out a little bit better for him. So we'll see. Maybe if he just starts to stay with a flick huck over a backhand, but the backhands and a lot of those upfield hucks not looking too crisp on Carbon.
Armada on the sidelines having a team discussion there, yet to get a point in this game, despite some crisp passes and coming very close to the Carbon end zone. What do you think they need to do to get into this game?
I'm not too sure. Honestly, right now it's just looking like Carbon is the better team there. They're running through discs. They're just a little bit quicker, and Armada right now just doesn't seem to have an offense that can get moving. These defensive players on Carbon really stepping up and putting in some work, and their hustle is just a little bit stronger right now. It looks like speed's up, and they're looking like they're pretty happy to be here. Armada's just looking a little bit slow, a little bit little bit stagnant on offense. So we'll see what they put out today.
Carbon has been looking confident indeed, able to throw those big throws into the headwind, diving defensive plays, diving for catches. They are looking hungry to win this game, Grace.
They absolutely are.
So it is 5-0 for Carbon. Armada will be receiving the disc in white. Let's see if they can put something together, but the wind has just picked up, Grace, and they now have a ripping headwind in their face, and they are deep in their own end zone. Look at that disc get lifted by the wind.
Coming out, it looks like with a bit of a zone again here. They have had success breaking it. Armada has had success here.
McFarland moving the disc up along the sidelines, moving back in the middle. Armada able to fight this wind here. Labardisse having the disc, moving it up, swings back to the middle for McFarland. McFarland looking up the field, swings it over to the sidelines. Back to McFarland, who pushes it up to Kandari and drops it back to Marshall. Good catch there. Labardisse putting his body out there to make that catch happen. Armada moving the disc well up the field. McFarland again. Puts it up. And number 5, Sean Kay, able to bring that down for Armada's first point of the game.
And if he didn't, there was an "I got it" being yelled right behind him. So 2 players there. Was really not the throw that he wanted to put up there. Wind really took it, but looking good at the end there. Really had a backup on that catch there.
Well, that has got to build some confidence for Armada. They were deep in their own zone with a big wind in their face and able to convert despite the elements.
Yeah, I'm not sure why Carbon coming out in a zone there. They seem to have the matchups with speed on person-to-person defense. So maybe they're just trying to save some of their own legs, go with a zone, you do a little bit less running in it. But Carbon really looking like they're winning those person-to-person matchups. So I'm wondering if they'll maybe not come out with a zone. Armada seemed to break it pretty easily, move the disc up the field.
Well, excellent point for Armada. However, they are still behind. Carbon in control of this game, leading 5-1. Okay, the disc is up. Sent to Hohalter in the center of the field. They're calling zone. Looks Armada is putting a zone. Hohalter passes to his brother, Tyler Hohalter, and back to Dave Hohalter. And again, a little give and go back to Tyler. Moving up the sideline to Beaton. Beaton looking around. Swings it over to Tyler Hohalter and back to his brother, Dave Hohalter. And a great cut there. Brad Dawson bringing that in. We have seen some high-intensity cuts by Brad Dawson this game, Grace.
Yeah, they're really working well on offense there. Armada coming out with a zone of their own, and similar to Carbon zone, just got broke pretty easily. I think at a master's level, you have to have a pretty good zone to make it functional. You got a lot of years under your belt. You can break zones pretty easily. It's not too windy here. It's gusty, but I'm certain they've had a lot of experience playing zones and not looking like it's the best option on defense right now.
Well, you know, we get these moments of these big gusty winds, and maybe on the sidelines they're thinking, oh, you feel that wind, maybe we should put out a zone. And then they get out there and the wind slows down, and these teams, like you said, are able to be so crisp and clean with their passes and so patient with these short passes, waiting for those moments to push the disc upfield and convert the points. So Carbon pulling to Armada, leading 6-1. Armada needing to make some points here. Moving it upfield, quick swings. Pazak with an over-the-top pass, but knocked down by Trevor Richards from Carbon. Carbon looking for another break point here. And the flick is up, and it is caught. Kenneth Badecki with the smooth cut in the end zone. Caught, and that puts Carbon with a commanding lead 7-1 over the Vancouver team, Armada.
Really looking like Carbon's here just to dominate this game. They're doing really well. That time coming out again in person D and really clamping down. They seem to have the speed matchups on this team. So when they are playing person defense, Armada just really doesn't have an answer. They don't have too many players that are just outrunning Carbon right now. It seems to be coming up Carbon.
The score would show that 7-1. Armada does not want to go into half with a 7-point deficit, Grace.
No, it's a bit of a hard comeback at that point. I guess at that point you're just happy to be here.
Now I'm going to be careful with my words because I was saying last game how comebacks can be difficult, and Old Garden made me eat my words with a huge comeback. So perhaps Armada is still in this game and can bring it back.
Sorry.
Zylstra with the disc here for Armada. Flicking it up over the heads of the defenders and caught by Orlandi. Orlandi trying to finish it off here. Not seeing a good end zone pass. Puts it up, but couldn't get tracked down by Anton Brusnik. Good opportunity for Armada there, but couldn't convert.
Yeah, that wind will shut down a blade pretty easily. I think if you're in a panic high stall situation, that's a clear hammer opportunity.
Yes, well, you could tell that he had to make a quick throw there. Carbon, huge huck upfield and brings it down, dropping it back to the sideline there, moving it up to Adamson. Oh, and a call on the field. I see some high fives out there. Good to see some sportsmanship between the teams, despite the frustrations we talked about. Adamson with the disc, puts it up for number 87, and he brings it down. Mike Choi with the conversion. So Carbon going into halftime leading 8-1, Grace.
Yeah, bit of a whoopsie there. There was a bunch of Armada defensive players in the stack that definitely could have helped out on that disc. It was a really floaty disc, and they're kind of just looking like they've given up a bit there. It's there's a lot of opportunities. There's a lot of floaty discs getting put up upwind, and Armada's just not closing in on those. So we'll see if this little halftime chat they can sort something out and maybe come out a little bit stronger in the second half here.
How frustrating is it, do you think, when Armada throws 15 completed passes, gets right to the end zone, drops it, to have Carbon make 4 or 5 passes and score a point despite the wind?
Yeah, I mean, I'm personally of an opinion that the Huck game is not the best game, so I'm not sure how often they'll be putting those lofty hucks upfield, upwind. It's I can't imagine them coming down with it more often than not. They're really just 50-50 balls when they're up in the air like that. So we'll see. Maybe Carbon will change up a bit, do a few more slower passes. It is working for them right now, the Huck game, but it's just not looking that nice out there with those hucks upwind. So we'll see what they do after half.
Well, thank you for hanging in there. Hopefully our stream quality has improved in this game. And thanks again to our sponsors, Discraft, BE Ultimate. This is the Canadian Ultimate Championship Masters. Stay with us, folks. We will be back after a short break. Live. All right, everybody. Welcome back. We are at the Canadian Ultimate Championship Masters. We are just coming back from halftime between Carbon in black, playing out of Alberta, Edmonton, versus Armada in white, playing out of Vancouver. And Armada looked dominant the first half, leading 8-1.
Armada definitely did not look dominant, but Carbon did.
Is that what I said? Thank you, Grace. I'm joined here by Grace Freiheit. I'm Jamie Ihaxie. Grace is here to make sure to correct my mistakes. And should be mentioning this is a quarterfinals game. The winner of this game will be playing in the semifinals tomorrow versus Dead Circus, who was leading the pool play and had a bye. So they got to avoid this grueling hot afternoon match.
Yeah, that'll be a hard matchup for whoever comes out of this game. Even though it's not even, it is taking a toll on their bodies. It's a hot turf. It's not something I think they want to be doing right now. I bet you everyone wished they had that bye.
Yes. Well, the game is on. Carbon starting off, the two brothers, Dave and Tyler Hohalter, with some quick give and goes here. Back to Dave Hohalter. They do not look tired right now, Grace. Back to Dave Hohalter, center of the field, looking upfield. And his brother, Tyler Hohalter, could not find that one. Great intensity right after half there.
Yeah, absolutely. Seems like the family doesn't get too tired. Maybe they're doing some extra cardio on the side, but looking good out there.
Well, Armada with an opportunity here. They need to find a lot of points here to claw their way back into this game. Alex Bush trying to move it up the sideline. Oh, a call on the play. What happened there, Grace?
Saying he hit his hand as he was going for the disc, and no disagreement there.
So Orlandi taking the disc on the sideline, moving it back to Bush and up the field. Swinging it back over to Chevalier. Chevalier finds a look upfield. Zylstra there, being able to continue it back up to Brusnick. Brusnick could not get it to Orlandi there. So Tyler Hohalter back on offense for Carbon. Moves it up the field to Trong. Trong moves it back to Tyler Hohalter. Over to Dave Hohalter. And it is up. Big forehand huck. What happened there? Way out of bounds, Grace.
I don't know. He did apologize after the fact, so I think maybe the wind might be getting to him just a little bit. We have not seen the success rate that we had the earlier game with those deep looks. Maybe time to holster those just a little bit.
It can be harder to shape those curving lines with the disc in these winds, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, Armada back on it, but unfortunately a quick turnover. Tyler Hohalter approaching the disc here, looking to convert for Carbon. Immediate flick up and brought down by Joe Lynn for Carbon. Carbon continuing their dominance in the second half.
I think that's more of this role that his brother was looking for. Maybe he has given him a few lessons on how it's done in the end zone there.
Well, fantastic play by Carbon. Armada is going to have to try to find a solution to this Carbon intensity here. If you're just joining us, we've got Armada in white playing out of Vancouver, Carbon in black playing out of Alberta, and this is the Open Division quarterfinals here. Both these teams would love to move forward to the semifinals tomorrow and win this tournament. If Armada is going to make that happen, though, they're going to have to pull out an amazing comeback. Okay, Armada with the disc. Moving it up the sideline. Bork has it. Oh, sorry, that's not Bork. Pillsbury has it on the sideline for Armada. Moving it over to Kay. They're swinging it across the field. Over to Labardisse, back to the middle. To McFarland. Putting it up to Kandari. And Kandari able to find a conversion there. Scott Pillsbury making the catch. Armada finding their second point in this game.
That looked a little bit sharper. Again, when Carbon comes out in a zone look, Armada seems to excel there. They might not have the speed, but they do have the ultimate knowledge. So with that zone, they can just pick it apart. They don't have to rely on athleticism. They just have to rely on their throwing ability, which they have a lot of. So Carbon really kind of catering to Armada there, putting out a zone defense. We'll see if they keep that up.
Okay. Well, maybe this is the beginning of something special for Armada, able to bring it back in this game. It is 9-2 for Carbon. So Armada is really going to have to turn on the jets here to bring themselves back into this game. We see Carbon, their offensive line out there, which has been so deadly in this game. The disc is up. Quick pass to Tyler Hochalter in the center of the field, moving it up to his brother Dave. Oh, a little bit of a fumble, but able to bring it down for Ken Trong. And a huck up the field. Jeff Hatton unable to find his receiver there. Armada with an opportunity here.
Yeah, just not quite enough loft on the disc there. It will sail long and it will get shut down pretty quick with the wind the way that it is here.
Okay, Armada with the disc in the center of the field. Oh, little conversation here. Brusnick with the disc, having a conversation. Observers coming over.
I think they're just deciding here what the stall count should come in at.
Okay. Brusnick will retain possession. Quick pass over to Bush. Bush with the disc. Swinging it over to Ring. And Ring moves it up the field to Orlandi. Back to Ring and back to Bush. Back in the center of the field. Good pass upfield. And moves it over to Robertson. Robertson finds Bush in the center of the field. Orlandi in the center of the field now. Good movement by Armada. Great reaching catch there by Brusnick. And Armada able to convert that point. Third point of the game for Armada.
Yeah, their offense is really looking a lot better out there. They're running through the discs on offense, really making sure to finish. They were getting beat by Carbon's players running through on defense, and they've really cleaned that up, really attacking the disc on offense, and it's looking much cleaner out there for Armada now. Coming out of half, they must have had a good little pep talk and really changed their tune. They're really looking like they're pushing hard out there now.
Looks like we have a timeout called here. Players probably happy Carbon calling the timeout. Players probably happy to get some shade, get some water. Now, we saw a dramatic comeback in our last game in the women's quarterfinal. Grace, do you think something like that is possible here?
I think that Armada would have to push probably harder than they've ever pushed in a game of Ultimate to come back from this one. Carbon looking really sharp. As their captain was saying, a lot of the Carbon players are AFC players, and with the new Ultimate Canada rules where players can play both in the seniors and the masters division, it's really helped out their crew. Carbon couldn't exist without the addition of those AFC players, and back in the day it was kind of choosing one or the other, and a lot of them chose AFC instead of Carbon. So nice to see that they can play together and really develop this masters men's squad here out of Carbon. So it's nice to see, and we love that Ultimate Canada is getting a little bit more inclusive on those small town communities when really your best players need to be playing both senior and masters, or you just don't get a strong program coming out of small towns.
Well, a strong program they have there. Carbon looking dominant this game. We'll have to see if Armada can break this Carbon offense here and find a break point here. They're going to need to find quite a few. They're going to need to string points together here, multiple points here to get back into this game. Disc is up. Nice roll to gain a little bit of distance. And Carbon with a big huck up the field. And Ken Trong able to chase that huck down and find a conversion, bringing Carbon to 10 over Armada's 3.
Tyler out there really showing how to huck upwind. That was absolutely beautiful. That was their best put that they've had so far upwind. So maybe the rest of the Carbon players needing to take a little bit of a lesson from one of the brothers. And turns out it's not the one that's usually hucking it. So maybe this game he's feeling himself a little bit.
Well, that was a powerful throw deep into the end zone. Trong able to chase that down. Carbon with the lead in this game, a commanding lead. The wind gusting here again. Armada going to have to try to find a point with this wind, despite the wind. Hands are up. Here comes the pull. Right to the corner of the end zone. Armada having to work out here from their own end zone. Pillsbury on the sideline here. Finds Labardise in the center, but unable to retain possession here. Carbon with the disc, putting it up, and a conversion. Nick Beck able to find the catch in the end zone. A quick point for Carbon.
Just beautiful offense by Carbon there, using that break side, and then once you've got to the break side, your mark just isn't quite there. So once you get it to the break side, really easy throws upfield, and that was just beautiful textbook offense when they did get the turn. So Carbon looking great out there. Armada was moving the disc well, just with the wind popped up a bit and had a turnover in the middle of the field. And when you're turning it over that close to your end zone, there's just no way Carbon's not capitalizing on that.
Well, and we've seen it time and time again that Carbon has been so effective of capitalizing on those little drops in the center of the field and finding those conversions. They are leading the team out of Alberta here, leading 11 over the team out of Vancouver with 3. Hands are up. Armada's offense here, going to see what they can do. Disc curled up here. And we've got Alex Bush with the disc. Oh, a little discussion on the field here. Okay, play will resume. Bush moves it up the sideline there. Another pass up the sideline, and a put to the end zone here. Chased down by Luca Orlandi. Excellent hustle there to find that disc for Armada. 4 points for them now.
Yeah, nice offense there. Looking like Carbon had a bit of a miscommunication on where the force was. Kind of changed it halfway through that point, and the downfield defensive players just couldn't quite switch positioning, and nice puts downfield for them to run out. Nice loft on the disc. Really nice throws there.
Well, that is just the beginning of what Armada needs here. They're going to need to find an answer to this Carbon offense here. Carbon leading 11-4. They're probably thinking about closing this game out. They just need 4 more points to find 15 and move on to the semifinals. All right. The two brothers starting it off, and it is a huck. Dave to Tyler, and the Hohalters find a quick conversion there, trying to end this game.
One of my favorite things with watching this Carbon team is when the brothers are on together and they're looking for each other. Tyler just running down the field like a gazelle, just knees high, just pumping it down, and has quite some speed with him. And his brother knows exactly where to put it. So it's fun to watch them when they're out there together, and they want to look for each other.
Well, a quick point there. Carbon, the Alberta team here, commanding lead 12-4 over Armada out of Vancouver. Let's see what Armada can do if they can pull themselves back into this game. Now, from what I understand, there's no losers bracket or losers pool here. If a loss in this game is the last game of their tournament. Is that right, Grace?
I'm not gonna lie, I have absolutely no idea. That's if that is the case, that's a bit of a sad day for Armada. I'm just not sure they're coming back in this game.
Well, it does go to show what they still want to play for. They do want to move on, but this Carbon team looks unstoppable right now. Armada puts it up, and a solid effort there, but Brusnick unable to chase that down. Good effort there.
It's a bit of a laser downwind. You really don't get much love going downwind.
But Carbon back on right now. Mike Choi with the disc in the center of the field. Passing up to Urquhart. Urquhart back to Choi, but Choi could not grab it. Opportunity for Armada here.
It's hard when you think it's going to be an easy throw. You're starting to look upfield at your next throw, and in this wind, you got to pay attention to the disc.
Robertson with the disc for Armada. Good defensive effort, but caught by Chevalier. Oh, and a bit of a bump in the middle of the field there.
Grabbing his upper body, looks like maybe his shoulder hit the turf. When your bodies are hitting the turf, there's really not a whole lot of padding before the concrete, so it's a hard landing. We hate to see that.
Looks like he's in some pain. Teammates looking out for him. Grace, we have seen some injuries this tournament here.
Yeah, it's you kind of always expect a little bit more of that in a Masters tournament. They've been playing for a lot of years, and it takes a toll on your body. But we've seen a lot already today. Day 2, they've played a lot of games already. It's hot out here. The turf is not forgiving, so I imagine any nagging injuries really come out for you.
Good sportsmanship there. A little hug there between the Carbon and Armada player. Michael Robertson will be going off with an injury. And play will resume with Armada in possession of the disc, looking to score their 5th point of the game here. McFarland with the disc here, putting it up, but out of reach. Carbon now back in control. A little bit high, but brought down there. Nick Beck able to catch that, and the disc moving up the field for Carbon. Moving up the sidelines. Urquhart hucking it out there. And caught by Daniel G.
Another beautiful upwind throw there. They really had good movement, broke out in front of the Armada players, and Armada just can't catch up when Carbon's rolling like that. They've got a lot of speed with them, and Armada just behind the play that whole time. Really, Carbon had endless opportunities there for whatever throw they wanted, and they did a beautiful put into the end zone.
And like you mentioned, Carbon able to get some distance on their throws despite the wind in their faces throughout this game. Excellent cut by Daniel G there. We've seen a few strong plays from him throughout this game. Carbon looking to close this game out, leading 13-4. Okay. Carbon will be pulling the disc to Armada. Armada on offense here. Trying to find that 5th point. Put right on the sideline, deep in their end zone. And Carbon already on defense, looking to close this game out. Armada making some crisp throws here, progressing up the field. Passed back to McFarland. Good forehand throw up to Labardise. Labardise on the sideline, moving it up the sideline to Pazuk. And unable to continue that.
That wind is awful. You put a little bit of the wrong edge on it, and it just turns your throw into blades. That seems to be what happened there. Didn't look too bad coming out of his hand, but immediately vertical.
Okay, Carbon on offense here. Dave Hochhalter. Little give and go there. Looking upfield. Swings it back over to Arthur Lau. Back to Hochhalter. And Horton on the sideline. And out of reach for Dave Hochhalter there. Timeout called for Armada.
Immediate hands on knees from both teams there. These points are hot, and when when they last a little bit longer than I'm sure they'd like. It's nice to have those timeouts. It's warm on the turf and they're running hard. These Carbon players are making Armada work for it, and it's some hard fought matchups out there right now.
Well, Carbon looking to close out this game. They just need 2 more points. Armada, how important do you think it is to them to try and just secure as many points as they can before this game is over, Grace?
With the timeout here, I would say they're looking to come out strong offensively, maybe have a bit of a rest and see what they can do here on offense.
CUC here with the disc for Armada. Okay, defense just setting up exactly where they want to be. And the gameplay resumes here. Strong defense here from Carbon. Oh, great catch there by Ken Marshall for Armada. Moving it back up to Labardise, who sent it to the end zone and brought down by Nathan CUC.
Yeah, that was strong offense there. Really moved the disc well, even into the wind like that. They did keep it on the open side, did a bit of a jam up the line, but came down with it, and they were moving it well with the strong headwind. So overall, not a bad look there from Armada.
Looks like the timeout paid off for Armada. Still a long way to go if they're going to try to turn this game around. They are looking at an 8-point deficit here against Carbon. The wind gusting here. We'll see if Carbon has been able, despite the headwind, to find points, put those long throws in the air. Let's see if the Carbon offense can bring this game to 14 and 1 away from the finish, 1 away from the semifinals.
We've had a bit of a switch up here with Tyler Holter doing a bit more of the deep throws. Let's see if they keep that up, or if it goes back to a little bit more of Dave.
Sent to the middle for Dave Holter there. Oh, a little bit of, quality defense from Armada there, and they've got a chance here for a break point, and they find it. Alex Bush sends it to the end zone, and Patina able to catch it. That brings Armada to 6.
I'm sure Carbon's getting a little bit frustrated here. They're just 2 points away from finishing the game, and I'm sure they don't want to be out here in the heat anymore. They're just making a few errors, really not flowing well, and it seems to be when you shut down that first look, they don't always have a good second look. So Armada's doing a good job closing down on that first look, and Carbon, I'm sure would like to get these last 2 points and no longer be out here in the hot turf.
Well, I agree, Grace. It is hot out here, and Carbon just 2 points away from the semifinals. But Armada still fighting out here, still battling, trying to come back into this game. A little bit of a roller attempt, but didn't play. What did we just see there, Grace?
Well, they tried to roll it, didn't work, but then they were offside. But Carbon choosing to just let them be offside and take that pretty awful pull.
Well, Dave Holter puts it up to the wide open end zone here, and a pretty straightforward catch for Joe Lynn there. Carbon
there was a pick on the play. That's why he was wide open there.
I
So,
see.
it will go back here.
Well, that does make sense. He was all alone over there.
Yes.
Little discussion here. Probably trying to figure out when what the stall count should come in at. But Carbon retains possession, looking to find that 14th point. Forehands up, but it is not caught.
That was a pretty spicy throw. It looked good. It just didn't quite have the outcome he was looking for, but got low there and didn't know he had that kind of flexibility on him. It looked pretty good.
Well, Armada has to try and work their way out of their own zone here. The wind is gusting here and couldn't move it out. Travel called there. Disc is going back to Matthew Bork there on the sideline. And play continues. Carbon still looking for that 14th point. Swinging across to Arthur Lau. Over to Tyler Hochhalter. Up to Arthur Lau. Dropping it off for Tyler, and he finds his brother Dave in the end zone. Bringing Carbon 1 point away from the semifinals here. Solid movement there from Carbon, but we've been seeing that all game, Grace.
Yeah, they don't really make too many mistakes. They're a really clean offensive team, and during this game, they've just looked like they're just faster and wanted just a little bit more out there. They're really pushing, and they've come out strong and are proving to be a bit of a powerhouse team here.
Well, the defensive line from Carbon out on the field, going to try to close out this game with a break point, and Armada's offensive line trying to get as many points as they can, finish out their tournament on a high note, or as high as they can, I suppose.
Yeah. I'm not sure how much peaking they can do. They're getting a bit of a whooping here, but as I said, they're all league players, so I'm sure they're just happy to be here. It's beautiful outside, so it's a nice place to come visit at the very least.
Well, they're holding the disc here now, working it up the field well. Scott Pillsbury looking upfield. Finds Labardise, swings it across to Marshall. Back to Labardise. Moving it up the field. Sean Kay has the disc. Swinging it across the field. Ken Marshall swinging it back over to McFarlane. He swings it across to Pillsbury. Good movement here across the field. Overhand throw and finds Labardise.
It's a beautiful, beautiful little hammer there. We love to see that. At the very least, they look like they're having some fun with these last few points. They're looking good out there. They seem to be looking a little bit looser, and I'm sure that's helping them a little bit. Maybe knowing that the game is pretty well over for them, but they're still having a good time, and they're still pushing out there, and fun little upside down throw for that point.
Well, excellent movement there and a great conversion from Armada. They will have to try to hold the line against this Carbon offense, who is going to try and close the game out right now. All they need is 1 point to move on to the semifinals. Well, they will be facing Dead Circus on tomorrow. Hands are up. Let's see if Armada can hold on to their hold on to this game and keep it going. The disc is up. And it's drifting out of bounds.
The second the puller let that go, a bit of a curse word coming out. He knew it wasn't quite what he was looking for there.
So number 45, Dave Holhalter, will be taking the disc in the center of the field for Carbon. Moving it up to his brother Tyler, who couldn't get his hands on it. Armada taking control. Bryce Ring with the disc here on the sidelines. Oh, and couldn't find his teammate, Brusnick. So Carbon back in control here, looking to close this out.
Maybe a little bit of butter on this disc. Seems like it's hard to catch.
Well, we'll see. Tyler has put it up to his brother Dave, who couldn't bring it down. Maybe there is something greasy on there, Grace.
A little bit of some sunscreen. Maybe it's don't know if these men have ever tried two hands, but it seems to work out a little bit better if it's windy outside.
Well, I don't doubt their ability to catch the disc, but we did see 3 missed catches there. Armada with the disc. And we got Alex Bush, center of the field. Little discussion here. Timeout called. Okay. Timeout called. We got a little bit of water coming out in the field. What do you think Armada is talking about right now, Grace?
To be perfectly honest, I think they're just a little bit tired. I've been in that situation, and when you're gassed like that, you just don't really have any ability to cut. Your hands just aren't quite working the same. I was just at regionals last weekend and got a disc to the face, just too exhausted to figure out how to catch. So maybe they're just trying to take a little bit of a breather and get their offense moving. Maybe work on the hands that the last three players haven't seemed to be able to put together.
Well, Armada has set up their offense. Carbon is setting up their defense here. Alex Bush will be starting with the disc in the center of the field here for Armada. Trying to come back into this game. They are behind 7-14 from Carbon. Carbon just needs one more point to close out this game. Flick is caught there by Patena. Not sure where to put it. Finds Robertson. Good to see Robertson back on the field after that injury. Kandari moves it up the field, finds Orlandi. Orlandi swings it back to Patena. It's put up a bit high, but Bush finds it here and sends a huck up in the air. And it is brought down. Luca Orlandi finds the catch. And Armada finding some points at the end of this game here, Grace.
Yeah, I'm sure to the frustration of Carbon, I'm sure they want the game to be over. Armada just coming out strong here. Really pushing, really clamping down on defense. Carbon's not quite getting the looks that they're wanting, and just some errant catching there. Everyone seemed to not quite track the disc very well. Don't know if they're just getting a little bit tired out here, or just wishing the game was over. But we hope they turn around. I'm sure they will. They're an unbelievable offense coming out of Carbon, so I'm sure we'll have this point, and I'm sure they're hopeful it will be the end of the game here.
Well, Armada is making Carbon work for it here. Let's see if Carbon can close this out, or will Armada find their way to double digits here and get to 10, just 2 points away. Of course, Carbon on offense here, looking to score this point and move on to the semifinals tomorrow. Disc is in the air. Looks like it'll be caught by Arthur Lau and moving up to Dave Holhalter, which we've seen numerous times, passing to his brother Tyler. Moving up the field. Some quick throws up to Tyler. Tyler looking to finish it. Back to the middle to Joe Lynn. Not in. Tyler Holhalter with the disc. And finds Joe Lynn for the win. Carbon scoring 15 points and winning the Open Division quarterfinals, moving on to the semifinals where they will face Dead Circus tomorrow.
Yeah, it was a good game out there. Carbon looking really strong. They're a really good team. They have a lot of chemistry, and they were looking good out there. Armada did their best. They were just looking a little bit outclassed there. Maybe just the difference of some strong club players and some strong league players, but maybe just didn't have the chemistry and the speed they needed to take on Carbon.
Armada certainly put in a solid effort in the second half there, but Carbon right from the get-go came out strong and got to an early lead. Well, fantastic game there. Thanks for watching, everybody. Tomorrow at 11 a.m., we will see the Open Final. We will see the Open Final, followed by at 1 p.m., the Women's Division Final, and then followed at 3 p.m. by the Mixed Division Finals. Tune in tomorrow, folks. We are going to see the champions of this tournament crowned. Who is going to take the win home here at the Canadian Ultimate Championship Masters? Thanks again for watching, everybody. This has been brought to you by Discraft, BE Ultimate. I've had Grace Freiheit here. Thanks for joining me today. I'm Jamie Ihaxie. Thank you so much for watching, everybody, and tune in tomorrow.
See you all tomorrow.